Hey, hello. Thanks for taking the time to listen in. The reflection I've prepared for today is entitled Rhythms of Renewal. You know, in a 24/7 world with its constant notifications, the busy schedules, the endless distractions, it's very easy to lose sight of the sacred rhythms that God has woven into creation. And I want to talk about seven of them as they are outlined in Leviticus 23. When you read through them, these aren't just dusty relics of ancient Israel, right? They really are invitations to pause and to reflect and to reconnect with the heartbeat of God's story. If you think of Passover's dramatic escape, all the way through to the joyous harvest celebration of tabernacles, these appointed times, right, Moedim in Hebrew, they offer timeless wisdom for modern believers. Now, a lot of people wonder, why bother? Isn't this just Old Testament stuff? Absolutely not. Celebrating these feasts isn't about legalism, and it's also not about reverting to ritual for salvation's sake, okay? This is about unlocking deeper joy, identity, and purpose. And so whether you're a lifelong believer or a curious inquirer, these feasts bridge past, present, and future. They unfold in Israel's agricultural calendar, which became their redemptive calendar, right? And so they point us to God's faithfulness from spring's renewal to autumn's reflection. And so these aren't just random holidays. They're a divine reminder of God's epic redemption story. It really is an epic story, his story of redemption that we're invited into. And so Passover, although it commemorates Israel's exodus from Egypt, it's a shadow, it's a type of Christ's blood that was shed for us, right? Shed for our freedom. And so celebrating it reminds us that God is our great liberator, that he breaks the chains that so often bind us in life today, right? Chains, whether it's chains of addiction or fear or relational strife, whatever it might be. Unleavened bread symbolizes the removal of sin from our lives, the leaven, the yeast of sin, as we flee bondage. It's a hands-on lesson in holiness. You just go bake some matzah, unleavened bread, right? And you share that with your family, and suddenly you're living out 1 Corinthians 5 verse 8. Let's keep the festival with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. First fruits and Pentecost, these are celebrations that serve as joyful tributes to God's provision. But they point us to Jesus' resurrection as the first fruits of the redeemed and the dramatic giving of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost. In a society that's steeped in self-sufficiency, they cultivate a posture of thankfulness, and it shifts our mindset from ownership to stewardship. The autumn feasts, you think of the trumpets blast, calling us to awaken, the deep cleansing of atonement, tabernacles booth dwelling, which evokes God's presence with us. All of those feasts propel us towards the hope that we have, our hope. And so those feasts kind of whisper, your story fits into a much bigger one. These ancient festivals restore sacred rhythm in a chaotic world. They are moments to pause and to kind of sync your life with heaven's clock. In our 24/7 grind, where weekends blur into work days, these holy convocations force a reset. Rituals like these boost well-being, well-being by fostering predictability and meaning. But biblically, it goes deeper, right? These are moedim, these are divine appointments where God meets us. Why would you not want to engage in it? With AI reshaping everything, these feasts ground us in the eternal. They build unbreakable community. They build legacy, right? It's storytelling across generations as you do this every year anew. It's like passing on your faith like a baton. I know some people dismiss the feasts as Jewish only or kind of pre-cross relics. But here's the thing, Jesus did not abolish them. He fulfilled them. He is the Passover lamb, the first fruits risen, the living water at tabernacles. So celebrating them just sharpens our focus on Jesus. Atonement's scapegoat, that points us straight to the cross's substitution. Trumpet's trumpet, that heralds his return. And so far from legalism, every festival centers us on the Messiah. They really can only deepen our awe. Now, I know people might say, "Wow, it's too much work. All of this stuff is too much work." Well, here's the thing. Start small. Start small. A simple family reading for Passover beats nothing, right? You might say, I'm a Gentile. I'm a Gentile. What's my place? Well, here's the thing. The early church kept these feasts. They celebrated them. They're for all grafted in branches, right? And that's code for Gentiles, by the way. Just go read Romans 11. People might say cultural appropriation. No. God gave them to humanity's family tree. We appreciate, not appropriate. The 7 feasts aren't obligations. They're opportunities to taste heaven on earth. Let God surprise you.